Hello, friends. Welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Meg and I post free hair education every single Monday. And today we are going to be talking about going from light to dark and how you need to formulate. So, this client has some previous dark hair down at the bottom. You can see the newer lightened hair on top was more that light caramelly color. And then there was a lot of darkness still in the bottom. You can see it right there. So last time she was toned to about that level, but the top has faded to this. Now she decided she wants to go to a chocolatey brown. So let's formulate. First of all, when you have a blonde undertone, that is going to be yellow. Most of the time, a neutral dark brown dye is going to be blue based. So when you mix together the yellow hair with the blue based dye, you're going to get this muddy green brown color. We don't want that. So as you may know, in order to make a neutral, we need to add all three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. This is 3-8. It is the chocolate dark brown. The -8s are a chocolate. Then we've got 3-65. 5 is the mahogany and 6 is the reds. So we're adding just a little bit of red. Here is the Danger Jones Gloss Toners color wheel so you can see where each number lies. Then I want to add my neutral, which I'm going to use a level 4. And the neutrals from the Danger Jones Gloss Toners definitely come really cool. So I especially want those mahoganies and reds in there. Now, when I was in hair school, they would tell us to put an entire like level 6 red demi-permanent over all of the blonde first, let that process, wash it out, and then put the brown on top of that. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to do those two steps. Just add a little bit of red, a little bit of chocolate mahogany into your brown formulas, and they'll be fine. Normally, I may add a little gold also, but as you can see, she's got plenty of like copper gold caramel left in her hair from the last color. So first I'm prepping her up with some water, and that is going to open the cuticle of her hair so that I can spray my K18 molecular repair mist in. And even though we aren't lightening, I still want to give her a nice little treatment so that her hair feels super healthy. And the Danger Jones Gloss Toners also have Bonder in them. So her hair is just going to feel so incredible after this. I like to bun up the hair nice and tight so that it can stay a little wet. I prefer to do a glaze like this on slightly damp hair because if the hair is porous, or which means it's like dry inside of it, then if you spray a little water on it, it kind of helps work as a filler and fill that porosity in the hair so that your color can come out much more even and doesn't pool too dark on a more porous or dry area. And then we had to pause so I could log back in to watch Apple TV. But now let's get this color on. So we are going to do a color melt. This is just going to be the top half. So we are going to work in about inch wide sections because I don't have to go all the way to her base, so I can have a slightly larger section. And I am just going to pull this first color about halfway down because I want to do a really nice color melt. So even though it's only going to be about a 2-level, 1.5 level difference from the top to the bottom, we're still going to see all that dimension in there, and it's not just going to be a flat, opaque color. But I am not going to cut at all on this first section because I want you to see how much time I spend saturating and pulling it down and making sure that everything is covered. Taking my next inch long or inch thick section, and I first like to go underneath so that I know all of that is covered. And then I go on top. And after I do that, when I get into these larger areas, I'll split it in half because then I have a lot more control over my section. And now I'm just going to saturate this first part, pull it down, and here's where I split it. And when you split it in half, you're also kind of pulling it to the front. So you're going to get more of that diagonal gradient that you want. You don't want the color that's darker to pull forward unless you're doing maybe like a asymmetrical to the front A-line bob. But In this case, we are not pulling it back. We are pulling forward because we want the color to fall back. And I am just carefully saturating and pulling it about halfway and moving to my next section. And another question I might get is why I am choosing to use demi-permanent instead of permanent. And that is because this client changes her hair color up a lot. And so when you use a demi-permanent color, it's still going to fade because once you put highlights into the hair and you strip that natural pigment, even if I was to put a permanent color, those highlights would eventually come back through. But with a demi, it's going to fade, and then she'll get a few different styles out of this one color. And then I'll see her in probably 4 months or so, because I really only see her maybe 3 to 4 times a year. So we don't have to do a whole lot. It's very lived in and easy. And now we are just going to keep going right around and hitting this base to mid, making sure everything is even. Now, when I get to above the ear, this is when I like to move to my front sections also. That way I know that everything is matching up. Most of the time, that hair on top of the head, closer to the top, you're not going to pull those mid-shaft colors down as far as you are the hair underneath it. So when I get all of that hair in the back done first, and then I go to the front, you're most likely going to have some longer melt in the front of the hair, which we don't want. So this way I can keep my sections up front a little bit higher than the sections in the back. It's not going to be a huge noticeable gradient since we are doing a darker color, but it's going to be there still. I like my front to be a little higher than the back so it gives that really nice like waterfall back through the hair. Now, another thing, you may see that the color looks very purpley, very red, and you or your client might start to panic a little and think like, oh my gosh, I'm coloring their hair red. This is going to be red. Like even the ends look very red while it's processing because it has that 365 in there, and the next bowl will have 565 and the -8, which has a little bit of that red violet base, even though it's a chocolate. So do not be alarmed by the processing colors. Adding that little bit of red is just going to help fill your brown and make it really rich. As long as you don't add too much with your neutral, you're going to be fine, and it's going to be the most perfect rich mahogany and not that like dishwater muddy brown, because I know that everybody has seen it. Somebody walking around with brown hair and their ends look green because they had blonde hair and then they colored over it with dark and they didn't fill any red in there. So please add some reds to your browns. Over here, I can't wait to show you just how rich it is. I didn't show it in the beginning of the video and I'm realizing that now, but you saw it in the thumbnail and you will see it very soon. It is just so gorgeous. And as soon as we get all of these mids in right here, making sure that everything is saturated and that I like the flow of the gradient around the head and where everything is placed, then we are going to go and mix up our ends. So here's that 565, which is a mahogany red base, just a little bit. Then we are going to add our 5-8. This is the chocolate that has still a little bit of a red violet, but it's mostly just like a nice warm chocolate color. And then here is our neutral 50. So we are going up another level. We had 3 and a little 4 in the last one. This one we are doing 5. And that is all neutral, a good amount of that. And then I decided I didn't want her to be a straight level 5 on the ends, so I added a little bit of 4-0 in there just to deepen it up a smidge. And I didn't want it to be too cool, so I added a little bit more of that 5-65, our red mahogany. And I think this was going to be the perfect chocolate formula. Now we add our Danger Jones Gloss Toner Developer. It is so important that you use the proper developer for these gloss toners, and there's only this one that you should be using with it. Mix it up real good, and now we can go and melt this on. So just like before, I'm taking those same sections, and I'm not going to cut on this first one so you can see how much time I spend on my melt, but I really rub that top half and the bottom one together, brush it through, and I want it to be a perfectly blended melt. So I'll really apply the color right where the other one stops and just work it through, making sure everything's saturated, especially on somebody's hair like hers who is very coarse. It will soak that color up. So really, really saturate it and you'll be good. Brushing it through. And this toner brushes through the hair so amazing. I love the texture of it. And like I said before, it has bond builders in it. So the hair just feels so shiny and soft afterwards. It is my favorite gloss toner. And they actually won the Olay Award for Best Ingredient Blend, and they were up against a bunch of skincare products. So the Demi-Permanent Color beat skincare products for Best Ingredient Blend. That's how good this toner is. But as you can see, I'm just melting those ends together and brushing it through. So pretty simple, easy color melt, only 2 bowls. One halfway down, one the other half, just making sure we are really blending and saturating. And of course, a little bit on the slightly damp hair. That's always going to help with the porosity, like I said before. And just don't forget to add those reds. Now, one other thing that this is making me think of that I do want to talk about, because I hear it so much with new clients. Whenever somebody with darker hair comes in and we talk about lightening, they always tell me, just so you know, my hair lifts red. And I think it is the funniest thing in the world. Speaking of red, see how red those ends look? Promise they're not going to be red. Trust the toner. Anyway, dark hair, that's the undertone is red. So I'm going to pull up a little chart of hair undertones real quick. All right, so this is all the underlying pigment in hair. Hair has red in it until you're at a level 5. So if you've ever been lifted and reached only orange, that's because it didn't get lifted enough. So in order to get all of the orange lifted out of the hair, you have to lift to a level 9. And then a level 10 is going to be the inside of a banana peel, pale yellow. That's the color we're most of the time going to be going for, unless they want caramel or a color that has warmth automatically. So next time you get lightened and you see orange, that's because it wasn't lifted enough, and that's simply it. There's no toning out a bad lift. So always remember that. But I hope that I helped you learn something today, and we are almost through the ends here, and you can see what I mean, even looking in the bowl, how red that color is. So most of the time, I don't even tell my clients that I'm putting red in their formula because they'll go, oh no, my hair pulls red. Don't put red in it. So I just do it, but then they'll see that purple red bowl and, be thinking, what is happening? So here is our finished color. So gorgeous. I wanted you guys to see how I style her. So first I put in my K18 mask, and that sits for 4 minutes. I just like to brush it through while we wait. And then I'm following up with my K18 Heat Bounce, which is a leave-in conditioner as well as heat protection up to 450 degrees. Now, I also almost always use the K18 Astrolift volumizing spray, but she does not need it. This is my Leaf and Flower 7-minute blowout and the Leaf and Flower Frizz Remedy spray. One of them helps speed up dry time and the other helps reduce frizz. And I'm going to do a quick blast dry, and then whenever I'm doing a blowout, I always like to do the front first so that they can see it, make sure that they like the color, and I want you all to hear her reaction to her chocolate brown.
Oh my gosh, pretty. I love it.
Yes. Oh, and you'll still see those hints of chocolate in the sun.
I even see the little hint of gold.
Mm-hmm. Yes. She is just the sweetest. She looks so good in everything we've ever done, but look at that beautiful color. Ugh. And she's had every color. We've done red, blonde, caramel, you name it, she's had it. But here is our gorgeous chocolatey brown. Look at that dimension. No red in sight, just a rich, gorgeous brunette. Absolutely stunning. So do not be afraid to add red in when you are going from blonde to brown because look at how gorgeous that is. And here she is up front. She is just so gorgeous. Look at how shiny and soft and healthy it looks. And then in like 4 months, she'll come see me and it'll be a medium to light brown looking ombre and it will still be gorgeous. And I'll let you guys see it then too. But look at this in the sunlight, how rich that brown is. Absolutely love it. But thank you guys for hanging out with me for another week. I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe. Bye.